Hi everyone and welcome back to National League Lowdown with me, Dan. As you can see, full house this evening. We're going to be covering all 9 games from the weekend. We normally do 6, but there were so many big games this weekend. We've got so much to talk about, so many to cover. Craig, how are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, 3 games that had an impact at the top, 5 that had an impact down the bottom, and then 1 that probably had the most controversial decision out of them all in there as well. So yeah, plenty to cover today.
Definitely. Mark, good to have you back with us. How are you, mate?
Aloha, everybody. Yes, no game for Mac this week. This weekend anyway. South Shields called off on Friday, waterlogged pitch. We did say our goodbyes to Ethan McLeod on Thursday. An emotional time, but I want to give a shout out to Bedford Town. They've been nothing but absolute class since Ethan's passing. The fans, everybody at the club, you've worked your way into the Mac fans' hearts. So, but yeah, rest in peace, Ethan, and we'll do the job for you on Tuesday against Leamington.
Well said, mate. Well said. Louis, how are you, mate? You okay?
Yeah, it's a shame this is a football podcast because I'm kind of done with the sport after yesterday, but I'm still here and we're here to talk about what was a very important weekend in National League.
Yeah, well, the Six Nations has started this weekend, mate. If you want to start
good
a rugby
Lord.
podcast or
Super Bowl
something.
Sunday as well.
Yeah,
Winter
it's true.
Olympics.
Yeah.
Got plenty to watch, mate.
Spoiled for
Thanks,
choice.
Goofy.
Louis joining the bobsleigh team as we speak. The email's been sent. But yeah, so like we said, we've got loads to cover. First up, we're going to start with Rochdale 1, Carlisle 0. Probably the dullest game of football I've ever watched in a long time. Carlisle set up to not get beat. And to be fair, if that was the plan was pretty much executed well, I would say. There was just that one lapse from a set piece where for some reason he had a free header at the back post. No one decided to pick him up. And yeah, it was 1-0. Rochdale didn't do anything spectacular. I had a few people in comments on things I was posting on social media saying Rochdale weren't all that. The truth is they didn't have to be. They've got gears. I've got no doubt in my mind that if Carlisle had somehow got an equaliser, Rochdale would have just went up a gear and went up the other end. Carlisle, no shot on target all game. I would say at least it wasn't a hammering like the York games were. And I did say about in the York games where I want to see us battle a bit more. We did battle a little bit, but it was still a bit of a whimper really for me. And Rochdale, top of the league, clean sheet again. Just, yeah, I don't see many stopping them at the moment. Craig, what did you make of this one?
Yeah, 11-0 against York and Rochdale this year for Carlisle. They've not even laid a glove on either of them. And I think, as you said, Rochdale played at their tempo. There's this clip that's gone quite viral of Rochdale playing it around the back, and they're getting a stick for it. But Carlisle aren't really applying any pressure to them. And it seemed that even at 1-0, you think, right, the game plan might change slightly and Carlisle might try and go for it. That might have ultimately suited Rochdale, but they just went out with a bit of a whimper. And it shows the gulf between the top two and Carlisle at the moment. And where they are in the league is probably justifiable for that. They can beat the smaller boys, but they're quite far off the 2 big boys at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you said obviously. I was just saying about the game plan. We finished that game with 3 strikers on the pitch as well, and we still didn't have a shot on target. Parker came on, the young lad we got on loan from Hull. Armstrong and Wyke were all on the pitch at the end, and we still didn't have a shot. Sorry, Craig, carry on.
No, that's right. No, it's pretty criminal, to be fair, that you've gone there with the budget you are, the manager you are. I know you had a few injuries and not got a shot on target. For me, that's pretty much every team should get a shot on target in every game of football you ever watch, to be fair. So to not get one is quite damning for you, and that's probably the most damning stat out of them all. If you'd have gone and gave it a little bit more of a go but lost 1-0, I think people go, yeah, this is where we are at the moment. But you went with kind of not a defeatist attitude. No, actually, no, I am going to say that. I'm going to go with a defeatist attitude. Let's try not lose this game and make it tough. But yeah, they still lost. Rochdale get another clean sheet. Rochdale get another win. And they're one step closer to winning the league. And for me now, obviously, we'll come on to York in a minute. It's definitely, there's now 2. There's 2 in the title race. You can maybe have the smallest inkling for Scunthorpe, but between me, it's now Rochdale or York, and I think it's been like that for weeks, to be honest. But this weekend could have put a little bit of doubt in people's minds, and for me, there's no doubt now that it will be Rochdale or York, and I'm going for Rochdale now.
Yeah, I mean, like you say there with Carlisle as well. I think a lot of people are saying on social media and think, oh well, we can still go up through the playoffs and things like that. But the reality is, we're going to have to come up against a Rochdale or York again to go up, probably. Depending on how the playoffs work out, but the chances are. We've got 2 tough games coming up. We've got Scunthorpe at home on Tuesday night, and we've got Forest Green away next weekend. I worry for both of them, if I'm honest. Scunthorpe coming up here, I'll fancy their chances, and Forest Green away is not an easy day for anybody, especially the way we've been playing. Louis, what did you make of this one, mate?
Yeah, standout performance from Dan Moss it was, getting his first goal for Dale. I think it shows their strength and depth. He's not played much this season for them, but Jim McNulty highlighted it in his post-match. He was outstanding. There was a brilliant tackle on, I think it was McAdam just before he got his opening goal as well, where that was probably the only chance he really broke through during the game, and it was outstanding piece of defending from him to make that sort of tackle from behind technically and getting that ball away. And even with the sort of defeated attitude that you had, Rochdale still had, I think, the best chance in the second half with Ian Henderson. And I think Breeze, and I can't remember the defender, got in a complete mess up. And Henderson really taps it over the top of him into the back of net to make it 2-0. It's simply incredible for what Rochdale are doing. I mean, 6 wins on the bounce for them now in a 3-week period is some going, considering the fixture list they've had. Only 2 goals conceded in that time as well. And you look at their next period of time, they've got 7 games coming up in 23 days. But when you're winning games and comfortably and not conceding goals as they are, you want those games to just keep coming, just to keep that momentum going. And they look really unstoppable at the moment. And full credit to them, I think their PPG is something like 2.5 or 2.6, which is just, I mean, it's unheard of most of the time in football. Like only Man City probably are the only ones that have matched that over the past 5 years in terms of a title run potentially. For Carlisle, yeah, I saw on SoapScore, you have 5 touches in Rochdale's box. It's just embarrassing. It's absolutely embarrassing. It's such a poor way to go out and poor way to lose the game. And I think you'll just see out the season because you're comfortably in the playoffs. I think really, I don't see enough teams clawing above you for you to lose your playoff spot, but you're not winning the title. And you've got something like 13 of the bottom. You've got a huge chunk of games against the bottom lot, which you'll win, and you'll finish the season in about 5th or 4th, and you go in the playoffs and you'll either lose the semi-final or you'll lose the eliminator, and it'll be, oh, we're here again now next season. What do we do now?
Yeah, I think what we're looking for now is the team that finishes 3rd and has to play 1 less game in the playoffs. The top 2 for me are wrapped up. Who gets that 3rd place and only has to play 2 games in the playoffs instead of potentially 3? That's what we're looking at now.
Jumping ahead slightly, listen to Savage's post-match. That's exactly what he said. He said the top 2 are set in stone, and it's a battle for 3rd and 4th now to get those home ties. Obviously, for 4th play the extra game, but it's still a home tie. But yeah, as you said, I think Rochdale are just absolute streets, light years anywhere ahead of Carlisle.
I agree, mate. I agree. Mark, what did you make of this one?
Well, first of all, welcome back, Charlie Wyke, after such a long time out with injury. Nice to see him back playing. Will he get a run out? I think they're going to have to look at players like him because they were woeful. And that is probably the kindest word you can possibly put it at. I mean, you don't go to a place like Rochdale and think, right, well, if we just keep everybody, sort of back a little bit, see what happens. You've got to go and attack. I mean, there's the quality there at Carlisle. You can't deny that. But the tactics really, the Jurassic, they really are so old. But Rochdale, it ain't what you do, it's the way that you do it. And that's what gets results, and that's what they're getting at the moment. I mean, you've got York, who will talk about who are this absolute juggernaut. Rochdale are the JCB of the league. They just keep doing it with precision. And Jimmy McNulty has got them on such a roll. They got Manny D back, which a lot of clubs will look at and say, oh, God, I mean, Ian Henderson still scoring at 41. It's fantastic. But Carlisle need to, they seem cocooned in this. We don't want to play very well. sort of state of mind. They've got to break out of that. Start taking it, because if Scunthorpe, Forest Green, Southend, Halifax, they start getting on a run and Carlisle splitting her in the way, as you say, the home advantage in them playoffs is absolutely vital because you stay there. And if Carlisle lose that, then that's another season in this league. But they've got to buck up their ideas. But Rochdale are making it. It's now advantage Rochdale. They've got the games in hand. Let's see what they do with them, because that'll go a long, long way. And the more daylight they've got between them and York, the better. And then it's York's turn to catch them up, with it being the other way around for so much of the season.
Yeah, definitely, mate, definitely. Next up, we've got York 2, Forest Green 1. Again, just getting the job done. I've seen the highlights. They missed a few chances. It probably should have been more than 2-1. I think 2-1 flattered Forest Green in a way. Probably could have been more. Craig, how did you see this one?
Yeah, so with Braintree's game to Gateshead being cancelled yesterday, I picked the game to watch at 3 o'clock, and this is the one I went for. Early on, you'd say Forest Green had a bit of the early running without any too many clear-cut chances, maybe a couple of half ones, if that. But then Alex Hunt scores a penalty. It's a really poor decision by the new man Ahmed to take his man down, Jeff King, inside the box. And again, it seems to be Alex Hunt stepping up for penalties. There seems to be a running joke between, especially the Rochdale fans, that you are getting penalties every week. But for me, this was pretty clear cut as a penalty. It was a penalty for me. And Alex Hunt stepped up and dispatched another one, and he's been in great form. And nice to take a little bit of the stress off the two strikers when you know that you've got someone so confident from 12 yards, which is neither of them as well, which Alex Hunt is. Ollie Pearce added a second in stoppage time to make it 2-0 at half-time. And you think York are going to kick on. So credit to Forest Green. They made a few adjustments, made a few changes. And Kyle McAllister scored a lovely one. It was cut back to him on the edge of the box, and he's fired it home. And then you're just thinking, can Forest Green push on? Can they get something from this game? But in truth, York maybe put a bit of a Rochdale performance in here and just marshalled the game really well. Their game management was good. And you wouldn't really say Forest Green had any chance that you think, that should have been 2-2. They've missed this. If anything, York looked more likely to score a third rather than Forest Green score a second in that moment. And yeah, we've talked about them and their attacking options. And Josh Stone came off the bench. Joe Gray started yesterday. He's been more of an impact off the bench. I think he's only scored 4 or 5, and 3 of them were in one game, so he hasn't hit the ground running for them. But they've got options. I think they on Twitter they talk about often looking for one more striker, just to maybe be able to rest Stones a little bit more, or bring Pearce off every now and again, because he does play a lot of minutes. To Zolly Pearce. There was obviously Matt Ugler had a few jokes afterwards about Forest Green probably making 3 signings this week because of their defeat. And I did like the bite back from Forest Green where someone said, "Oh, that's all right, we'll see you in the playoffs." And then he bit back again, mentioning that, "Oh, it'll be all right, we won't recognise you because you have a completely different 11. And that for me is football. I love the bloke now. When he first came into the league and we've been watching things, I thought, wow, this bloke's a bit outspoken. But I think he's just he's a football fan who's obviously bought a club and he's now in love with that club and will do anything for that club. And he has got the club's interests at heart. And I really quite enjoy listening to him on different things. And if he's ever listening to the podcast, we would love to spend an hour of our time with you, because you seem an excellent bloke. And I reckon we'd get some fantastic stories out of you as well. So that's an invitation if you're ever listening, mate. But yeah, York City with a Rochdale-like performance in the second half, and they got the job done. And yeah, only 1 goal conceded in their last 4 or 5 now, I think it is. So yeah, defensively solid. Morgan Williams has come in and has been an excellent addition for them. And they're not missing Malachi Fagan Walcott as much as we thought they would, because we thought that would be a bitter, bitter blow for them. And it hasn't been. But yeah, 2-horse race.
Yeah, definitely. Mark, what did you make of this one?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you go from Rochdale to York, and now the interest in is peaking is seeing how they're going to respond to what Rochdale are doing. 3 goal scorers who we're going to have to consider for players of the season: Alex Hunt, Ollie Pearce, and Carl McAllister for Forest Green. I mean, York, the second goal, Pearce's goal in particular, a very, very patient build-up, pass, pass, pass. But if you want a guy on the end of a good team build-up, Ollie Pearce is your man. The fact that they're looking to bring in another striker is just, it's just frightening. But one player who has stood out since he went to York has been Zach Johnson in that defence. As you say, Malachi Fagan-Walcott, massive blow, but you wouldn't think it. Morgan Williams came in, but Johnson has been getting a lot of plaudits. You know, rightly so. He's going to have quite the future with York. But Forest Green will always make you work for it. I mean, Robbie Savage has had the distraction of the Blackburn job links. You know, he's had to brush that to one side. Couple of signings, Tate Campbell, who I've seen play for Buxton this season. He'll fit in very, very well. And he made a game of it. But, yeah, it's between Rochdale and York. And Forest Green will be in there in them playoffs. But, yeah, it's down to 2 already. And it's just a question of who's going to blink first.
Yeah, and just for me, out the 2, I actually think I'm backing Rochdale to win the league. But I think if either team goes up, I genuinely think York probably need the least recruitment at the 2 when they go up. I think their team's very League 2 ready with what they've got. They've got some young, hungry players in there. They've kind of, the additions they've got in recently have made the team and the depth stronger. That I think probably they'd finish top 12 in League 2 right now with the squad they've got. I think their squad is very, very good.
And also, they've got an owner who's not afraid to put his money where his mouth is. I mean, 350 for Josh Stones last year, and he will go and seek them great players. York don't have good players; they have great players, and that is the difference. Rochdale have got great players. I mean, the loan signing of Watmouth and Manny D, taking a chance on him when nobody else would. You know, you've got to have that ambition, and Rochdale and York both have the ambition. And yeah, it's criminal that only one will win the league. It's bizarre, and the other one won't go up automatically with them.
Definitely, and I'd be interested if York don't win the league, how they deal with the playoffs this time round after what happened last year.
They won't blow it. They will not blow it.
I agree, but it would be a testament to their character that they don't blow it. You know, obviously everything that happened last year, they've learned from it. They've built a stronger team than last year, and they look ready to go. It'd just be interesting to see what happened. Louis, what did you make of this one?
Yeah, first win for York over Forest Green in 15 years. How many times they played them in those 15 years, I don't know, but there's a stat for you.
Once.
It's 19 unbeaten. Yeah, 19 unbeaten now for them. They are just outstanding as well. Just streets ahead of everyone else. There's only 3 games at home this season out of the 16 they've had where they failed to score more than 1, and they average 3 goals a game. It's just outstanding. My worry for Forest Green is their defensive record. They've only kept 8 clean sheets this season from 31 games, which might sound not bad. But then when you actually look at the math, that's 74% of the games where they have to score 2 or more to get a win out of it. And if you do that against the big sides, it's going to become really difficult when you play against the likes of York, when you play against the likes of Rochdale, when you play against the likes of Scunthorpe to get those 2 goals. You know, they've done it on occasions, but they lost 3-2 to Scunthorpe. They've done it on occasions and lost 4-2 to Carlisle. Their defensive record might be their sticking point if they get in those playoffs. But it would be entertaining, and that's I think what Robert Savage wants is an entertaining Forest Green side, and they are entertaining. So full credit to them. But yeah, interesting playoffs we've got because York and Rochdale are going to run away with this league, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, we've got Scunthorpe 1, Southend 0. You know, we talk about it being a 2-horse race. I think Craig alluded to it earlier. If anyone is going to kind of, make a mad dash and try and break into it a little bit, Scunthorpe look the most likely out of anyone, but I still think it's too much to ask from them. But they're in great form at the moment. Louis, what did you make of this one, mate?
Yeah, an interesting game this was. Southend seemingly were the better side in the first half without really creating too many clear-cut chances. They had 3 attempts on goal in the first half, with 1 of those on target, but most of them were from sort of set pieces and throw-ins and corners. So Scunthorpe can count themselves potentially a bit lucky that they went ahead just before half-time. It's a calamity at the back between Mason and Gibbons. I don't know why the goalkeeper's coming out that far for that. Let your defenders deal with it. And it just causes a huge problem for them because Robert gets the ball, he takes it past a couple of players and he puts it into the near post, and it's an easy finish for them. And they came out the better side in the second half. Scunthorpe, I think they probably deserved the win based on their second half performance. Interesting to hear Kevin Mayer's points after the game where he says it's one of the worst performances he's seen from an official. DAZN didn't pick up much of the stuff he was talking about. They did pick up the challenge on Kendall from Evans towards the end. It's a definite foul. Evans has got two hands on him, pushes him in the back. It should either be a free kick or a penalty. He couldn't make it out whether it was in one or the other from the position of the highlights reel. But it's just one of those things for Southend. They're just not good enough against the rest of the sides around them, and it's really making them come unstuck. Yeah, we've said it's a two-horse race for Scunthorpe. The only thing they've got going for them is they've got to play Rochdale twice and they've got to play with York. They win those, they do close that gap. It's such a big ask. I don't think they will do it, but it's still in their hands. They're 9 unbeaten now. They're in really good form. They've got good form against the sides in and around them as well. So yeah, full credit to them. They've had an outstanding season, and they've only really had that one blip, which was those 2 defeats to Solihull and Altrincham in November. And as Andy Butler said, they're 31 points clear of relegation, which would have been their aim at the start of the season, I imagine. So full credit to them. Absolutely outstanding. And I think they're, if anything, are the choice for third place at the moment if they keep up their form.
Yeah, I totally agree, mate. Mark, what did you make of this one?
Well, I had Scunthorpe to get into the playoffs. They've more or less gate crashed it. They have been so good this season. The real surprise package. And Callum Roberts is one of the best players in the league, bar none. He's so with that. I don't know quite what Scunthorpe would be without him. He makes everything tick. I'm a massive fan of Roberts. I'm a massive fan of Danny Whitehall, as I've expressed all season. And Scunthorpe will, yeah, we've said it's going to be a two-horse race, but Scunthorpe are going to make the rest of that playoffs work for their place. You can give a playoff place to Scunthorpe now, to me. So there's your jinx, Scunthorpe fans. But it's the way that they're doing it. I mean, teams are looked at as unfancied, and there was probably a lot more going, Scunthorpe, really? Because they come up from the National League North. But the quality is there. Ollie Ewing, has been an inspired signing, despite him not wanting to sign a new deal. And Southend just seem to want to shoot themselves in the foot every time they play a team they're going to be challenging with. Don't they want the playoffs? What's the matter with them? I mean, again, they've got quality in the side, and they're doing a Carlisle basically. They're not showing that quality. I mean, they know what Gus Scott Morris is all about. I mean, he's not quite reached the heights of last season, but that take nothing away from him. He's a great player. But come on, they're better than this. They're absolutely better than this. And the fact that they've thrown in the towel so many times against the people above them, that they want to cement the place, and it has meant that the likes of Halifax, Hartlepool are catching them up. And if they don't get out of this trend that they're going through about not being able to beat their contemporaries in the playoffs, they'll get caught and they will miss out on it. Put your ideas up, lads.
Yeah, definitely. Craig, what did you make of this one, mate?
Yeah, I think the big incident that Kevin Meyer had an issue with was Hopper went round Mahadi and kind of got eased out of it by a Scunthorpe player, and there was appeals for a penalty. I've watched it back. I think I had to find it somewhere else. I don't think, as Louis said, it was in the DAZN highlights. And I think it's one of them ones where if you're a Southend fan, you're adamant it's a penalty. As a Scunthorpe fan, you're laughing and saying, well, he was never getting to the ball, so he's gone down easily. And as a neutral, I tend to edge more to the fact that it's not a penalty. But I know if that was at Braintree, I'd be absolutely screaming for it. So I can see why they feel a little bit unjust. But I think it's one of them ones where the referee only has seconds to make a decision. And if he's not 100% certain, you don't give it. And I think that was the case here. He is a manager that's coming under pressure, though, Kevin Mayer. The fan base, I don't think we'd call it split yet, but there are sections of it that saying he's underperforming. He needs to do better. If he can't, we need to move him on. And I feel like that they've got half a point. They obviously finished 7th last season. I think people were expecting them to kick on. I think we all had them 4th in our predictions, and they've been pretty poor. As Mark said, their form against the teams around them has been pretty dismal. And without obviously spoiling the results of the other games later on, we obviously all know them. The fact that Halifax threw that 2-0 lead away is massive, because they'd have been 3 or 4 points above Southend, and them games in hand would not have looked that easy. But yeah, I still back them to get that 7th place, but I'm just not overly convinced by them at the minute, and do wonder if a managerial change might be coming at some stage. Maybe they shake hands at the end of the season if they don't make a successful playoff challenge, because once they get 7th, I don't think they go anywhere in the playoffs. But we probably said that last year when they finished 7th and they got all the way to the final 1 minute away from being back in the EFL. So getting that 7th place, and then you can see what happens. But yeah, they're pretty uninspiring. Scunthorpe, their biggest handicap for me might be that pitch. That pitch was an absolute sandpit yesterday. It was horrendous, and it stopped them playing any real football. It seemed like the comments I was seeing on Twitter was it would be better to play direct, and that doesn't really suit their style as much. So I wonder when they come up against some of the lower teams in the league as such. I think they've got Boston coming there in a couple of weeks. If they just play long towards Lennell, John Lewis, they might get a little bit more success than the teams that try to play. Although on the flip side, after that, they've got York, and having a pitch that York can't play on is never a bad thing either. So it might work both ways on that one. But yeah, it'd be an interesting one to see what they do about that pitch, because it was pretty shambolic yesterday, to be fair. I've seen better pitches down the local park.
It's funny you should say that, because obviously they come up to Carlisle Tuesday night, Scunthorpe, and Carlisle's pitch is famously immaculate. It'll be like playing on a carpet for them. They're probably not used to it, so that just makes me worry even more about Tuesday night. They're probably going to start playing like Prime Barcelona or something. We'll wait and see. From the top of the table to the bottom, Morecambe 1, Truro 2. I said on our preview predictions, Morecambe have to win, and they didn't, and Truro did. Truro's first away win of the season, if I'm right, lads. I think I am. First away win of the season. Morecambe, I think that's it now. I think game over. I think they're down. It's the first team I've said it about, and I just think they had to win that game, and even a draw wasn't enough really. But to lose it is just absolutely horrific result for them. But Truro are giving themselves a real fighting chance, and I'm sure Mark will be very happy with that. So Mark, what did you make of this one, mate?
Fantastic. Their first away win in 17, I believe it is, for Truro. But when you get your first goal put on a plate for you, Miguel Aziz was just faffing about, and he lost the ball, and then it was put on a plate for Sean Donnell, and then Tyler Harvey put them 2-0 up. The Morecambe commentators were going absolutely apoplectic for the first goal. It was magnificent to hear, they're going, oh, Miguel, I mean, it looked like San Miguel, never mind, But honestly, there was a lot of sort of, when Jim Bentley was appointed. I hope he realises the size of the situation, because Truro winning is not good for them. It's not good for the teams above Truro. I mean, it's excellent now, because the first away win, they will think, aha, now we can crack on and we can get more. And I still think Truro will stay up. Morecambe and Gateshead, bye, because results like that are not going to help him. And Chris Popoff got his first goal since he joined from Leicester, but I've seen the comments that he was the only one who actually made an effort that, and it's a team game. It's a team game. Cliche it all you like, but if you've just got one out of 11 who is just trying a little bit harder, then Jim Bentley's got to take a look at that side and think, you're not going to be here next season, but let's take nothing away from the might of the Truro. And I tell you something, if Truro stay up, I will come and spend a weekend there, so I can savour the flavour of Cornwall.
That's an incentive to get relegated if I've ever heard one.
Oh, you cheeky monkey! Don't ignore him, people of Truro. He's an Essex lout.
If Truro go down now, we're definitely going to say it was on purpose, so Mark didn't have to go and visit now. That's definitely going to be a thing.
I mean, it was
They
poor for the people of
They
Truro, not
wouldn't
the
do
other way
that to me, would they?
around.
Surely not. We love you. Well, I love you, Cornwall. I don't know about these three troglodytes I have to do this with.
I love Cornwall. Love Cornwall.
Yeah, then you'll love Truro too.
Lovely place. I've been there on a holiday before. It's very nice. But
There
the
you
football
go.
team, I'm not so sure about whether they're going to stay up definitely or not. But they've gave themselves a fighting chance, like I said. Louis, I'll come to you first, mate. Obviously, this is a massive result down the bottom that's impacted you guys. What did you make of this one?
Yeah, I love Cornwall. I will say that. But yeah, they've 293 days it's been for Truro getting their first away win. They've waited a long time for it, and it's huge. It's absolutely huge. I'd start on Morecambe. Just both goals, as you said, Aziz for the first one, but I mean the defending. There's three Morecambe defenders in the box, and the one Truro player gets on the end of the ball and puts it in the back of the net, and you just think, how on earth are you allowing that to happen? And then for the second one, it's just schoolboy stuff. Corner comes in and they all just watch it go from one side of the box to the other. And let is it Harvey at the back post who put it on the half volley?
Tyler Harvey.
It's just shocking. And yeah, and it's just shocking. I feel for this Morecambe fans. We said it a lot. They got their club back, but they didn't get the team back. It's just the same nonsense on the pitch, and you can't turn up for half a game and expect to get something out of it. And they did improve in the second half. They did have chances, but when you are 2-0 down against a side who hasn't picked up an away win all season, you're going to be a better side in the second half than you were in the first half, that's for sure. You listen to Jim Bentley, he says there's a lack of awareness. We were left open at times when we lost the ball. The issues are bigger than what I think they realised at Morecambe. I think that a lot of it cuts deeper than what it looks like on the surface, and I really worry for that club, and I think it's such a big mentality shift that they need that they're not going to be able to get done this season, and potentially next season will be just as tough for them when they probably face the National League North, which is just as tough a division as the National League is, with the bottleneck that you have. For Truro, outstanding from them, as I said, it's the perfect weekend for them. They've had a long time since they played their last game. I'm not sure when it was, but perfect away performance. They took the chances when they got them. They defended well. They defended resolutely. They've got 7 games against top half sides left, but 5 of them are at home. And then when you look at their fixture list away from home, they've got Eastleigh, Altrincham, Sutton, Yeovil, Boston, and Aldershot all away from home. Can yesterday just be that springboard where they go, we can win away from home, and they go to those places? If they pick up points and wins at those places, they have got a huge chance of doing what Boston did last year and getting the Great Escape done.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. Craig, obviously impacted Braintree as well without you guys playing. What did you make of this one?
Yeah, Altrincham, Truro, Tamworth. First 3 games for Jim Bentley. I said 6 points would be a minimum they need to get from that. 2 wins, and it's impossible with 1 game left of that 3. The most they can pick up is 4. So they're in a really sticky situation there. We said it could have been a good point at Altrincham if they then won this game. They didn't, and they didn't deserve to. They were awful. Yeah, I think his name was Ben, the co-commentator alongside Dave. He experienced a little bit of head loss in there, but I think we could all understand it, to be
so
fair.
funny.
Because
I've done exactly the same.
Potentially 4-on-3, I think it was, that suddenly become the ball in the net at the other end. And we talk about the commentators and whether we want biased or neutral or whatever. You could just feel his passion as a fan in that moment. And unfortunately for him, it was quite comical for us on the sidelines watching it. But yeah, they're in big trouble. I did the TikTok for the league predictions, and I put them bottom of the table because I spoke about their individuality. They seem an individuals, whereas they played against a team that was down there all playing together, all playing for the shirt, all playing with pride. Whereas Morecambe are a team that have been thrown together. And the more and more I think about it, they're a team of players that ultimately, if anyone else wanted them, they wouldn't be at Morecambe because they'd have got a move in July. They wouldn't have still been available, mid-August. They'd have been snapped up. So maybe that is why they were available, because they don't dig in when the times are tough. They're not there to play with their teammates. They're a bit individual. And I have seen that touted at players like Miguel with Aziz before, because I don't think anyone could doubt his abilities. but maybe the hard work and the desire isn't quite there, and that's why he's slowly drifting down the levels. And if he does stay, he'll be playing National League North next season.
Mm-hmm.
I do still think Truro will be playing National League South, but they've given themselves a much, much better chance after this one. And if they can win some home games along the way and then pick up a few aways, never say never, but not for me on this one, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, you say there about Aziz and things like that. Wasn't Harley Dean's phone ringing off the hook while he was from clubs coming for him? If I remember rightly, when they interviewed him when he joined the club.
Must have been on silent.
Well, no, that was the joke. He said his phone wasn't ringing, but they assumed it was. Next up, Louis, Boston 1, Sutton 0. We'll get it out the way for you, mate. Horrendous result. What did you make of it?
Oh boy, and I didn't spend all day travelling to Boston and watching that game. Christ alive, that was painful. That was real painful. Horrible day yesterday. It was an absolutely nothing game. I said before on the preview I did, I said it on the podcast, it was going to be a low margins game. I didn't think there'd be any quality, and that's exactly what happened. Boston arguably had probably the better chances, maybe in the first half. I think Abo had one, which might have been a good tackle from Muller, and then I can't remember that it was either left back or left wing for Boston had a good shot as well, but there was just nothing in this game. I don't even know if you could call the first half football. It was shocking, absolutely shocking. And the second half, they took their one chance that they got from a mistake from us, and that was it. As I said, low margins, but it was just an embarrassing, lifeless performance from us. We just didn't turn up. We forced one save out of Wogan in goal for Boston, and that was a long range shot from Lewis Simper. Our XG we created was 0.29. We had 7 corner kicks in the game, and I think 6 of them went straight into his hands without anybody challenging for it. I've got no issues with playing out from the back. I'm not one of those people who's just going to go lump it long, because if we lump it long, it just comes straight back to us because we haven't got a target man. But it's possession for possession's sake yesterday. We were making 3 passes. We were making 1 pass into 3 passes. We weren't putting the easy ball out. Yeah, it was an awful performance. Players weren't calling for it. Players were going for the same ball. Just do the basics, win your duels. Just do it. They won it because they fought harder than us. They won their duels. They were solid. They were organised. They knew what they were doing. There was a mistake in their defence. We just didn't force it from them, and I'm really concerned with sleepwalking into relegation, because I don't think it's an arrogance. I don't think it's touch on complacency, but there's this idea that we're in a false position, that our squad is better than being relegated. We had the best squad on paper we've had for years when we got relegated from League Two, and we were shocking that year. We are in big trouble if we don't up our game, because we looked completely lifeless yesterday, and it was really, really poor to see. And I'm just concerned. I really like Aggie, but some of the interviews he's done when we sign players, he's talking about looking towards next season. I just think just get this season out of the way, get enough wins. And he said yesterday in his post-match towards the end of it that needs to be the wake-up call for some of the players in there to realise the trouble that we're in. And Wednesday is going to be a horrible game, but it's a huge, huge game for us on Wednesday. And I'm not looking forward to it, because Craig's coming down and I'm going, and I haven't seen us win for ages. And I just think it's going to be a horrible evening. But we are capable of playing well. So that yesterday has to be the baseline. We cannot perform like yesterday again. Otherwise, we are going down, and we're going down with a whimper if we play like yesterday again.
Yeah, Craig, obviously we'll do the predictions later on. What did you make of this one?
Yeah, I don't think this is going to get put in the drawer of the classics anytime soon. I don't think it's going to be one people are reaching to watch again and again and again. But when you haven't won a home
I certainly
game
won't.
when you haven't won a home game since 24th of September against my side, like I may add on that one, for Boston, I don't think they really care. Ultimately, when they've got a new manager in, they've found a way to win. It's given them a little bit of daylight from the relegation zone. They'll be delighted with that. And yeah, they've made a good start under Paul Hurst. Obviously, they drew with Southend. They've had a couple of good results, but this is their first home win under him as well. And they'll be fairly confident they've got enough to stay above the drop. They've made some excellent signings. And for them, it might be a play time of things haven't quite clicked yet. But if things aren't working perfectly and you find a way to get a result, that's a very, very good sign for them. And I'm going to go that they're going to finish about 15th, 16th now, and they're going to be fairly confident in that, and they're going to be fairly safe. And they took that at the start of the season, and You could argue Cochran could have got them there as well, but we never know on that one, and that's football, because they were, paraphrasing for a term that Louis just used, they were starting to sleepwalk down the table. So their change seems to have worked for them. For Sutton, I don't want to say too much because it could get clipped up if they do beat us on Wednesday night. But yeah, they're looking pretty poor at the moment, and they could do with a home game and maybe a scruffy 1-0 on Wednesday for them, because they need something, because they are starting to really look over their shoulder with a bit of panic, especially with the form of teams like Aldershot, Truro winning, Braintree won last weekend. Sutton need a good result, and if it doesn't come Wednesday, then they're going to be in the relegation zone no matter what come the end of Wednesday night. So yeah, one to watch on Wednesday if you want to tune in. Me and Louis will do Pitch Invasion in 68 minutes.
I'll definitely be watching that on Wednesday night. Definitely not for the pitch invasions, just for the game.
I would say it's planned to be the first meeting of the National League Lowdown podcast. Me and Louis meeting each other, unless he decides to ignore my calls when I get there. That's up to him.
I'm expecting a Snapchat filter. I'm expecting a little selfie with a Snapchat filter and bunny ears and that of you together. Mark, what did you make of this one, mate?
I know I banged on about Sutton's summer recruitment, and I thought that they'd actually torn that up and brought in some quality players, which they have. But again, you can look. It's like the Southend predicament. It's like the Carlisle predicament. Why are they not playing to the high standards that everybody knows that they've got? You know, they cannot. When you're in this position in the table, you cannot churn out absolute dross. Otherwise, you will be going down. I mean, I had them in sort of as the Dagenham and Redbridge of this season, and I'm getting very close to the bone on that one. But why? I mean, you know, sleepwalking with a Xanax. That's what they're doing into this relegation fight. God almighty, they're comatose. They're absolutely comatose. I don't know what Chris Haggart is thinking at the moment. I mean, you know, he'll save himself a few haircuts because he must be pulling every strand out of his head trying to figure out why. They're just not doing it for him, you know. But if they value their futures, they've got to start, getting the results. Otherwise, the bag of wet washing of a transfer on the transfer market in the summer is now going to look bad on Chris Haggart as well, because he's signed more drips. That's the thing. But unlike Boston, more than a feeling for this one. And Thomas Curzons, sorry. No, actually, no, I'm not sorry. One for you 70s rock purists out there. But Thomas Curzons, I watched this guy play for Ilkeston when Mac were in the NPL, and this guy's good. I don't know why he didn't get a solid run at Harrogate. Well, I do. It's Simon Weaver in charge, but hey, can't all be perfect. But he will get Boston the goals that they need. They've just signed Jamie Grimes, another ex-Mac defender, experienced at 35, but that is what they're going to need. That is what they're going to need. Jake Rooney, the loanee from Derby, he's looking very good already, but let's not jinx the poor boy. But yeah, can Boston do it 2 seasons in a row? Yes, they can. Will Sutton go down? It's looking very likely at the minute, but it's up to the Sutton players. Play for your manager, play for your futures, because you won't have either if you go down.
Very true, mate. Very true. Next up, we've got Aldershot 3, Halifax 2.
Oh.
I mean, Halifax threw this one away, but taking nothing away from Aldershot, John Coleman's got them absolutely firing. Mark, what did you make of this one, mate?
He certainly has. John Coleman since December, 6 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. And this is a fella who said he was falling out of love of football. Well, we love you in it, John. The place is a better world with you in it. Is signing Chris Warren from Bolton. He got 2 wonderful free kick for the first one. Will Nightingale got the got one in between. Will Harris, though, he's on a great little turn of form for Halifax. And how they let it go so easily, I'm not too sure. But that's all down to how well Aldershot came back. We'll take absolutely nothing away with the way that they actually got back and got the 3 points. I mean, Warren looks like he's going to be an absolute rabbit this season. You know, he'll get you double goals. Thank you. At last, I can see people getting the joke of Rabbit and Warren, whilst Dan was sort of comatose there.
I've got no words.
Oh, I have.
I'd like to leave, please.
Honestly, the tough audience. I mean, it's bad enough with some of the comments we got on social media without you three throwing your tuppence with it.
Right, thanks for joining us, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe. That's us done.
Philistines, honestly. But yeah, a great win for Aldershot. I mean, it's put a bit of a bullet hole in Halifax's momentum, but they'll be back because they'll want to catch Southend because Southend are inviting them in. They're inviting them in. But yeah, good old Aldershot getting out of the doldrums and a 3-2 win. Value for money.
Yeah,
and my jokes are value for money too. You just don't understand them.
You know, it's because they're free.
That's why I was just about to say that's why they're free. Craig,
low blow there, low blow.
What did you make of this one, mate?
But it's a low blow.
Yeah, so I spoke about Halifax briefly when we spoke about Southend. If they'd have kept hold of this lead, they'd have been 4 points above them. Granted, Southend have 2 games in hand, but one of those games in hand is effectively Rochdale at home as well, so not an easy one. They've been looking so good. I thought they were just going to roll on with this one, but Aldershot have been a very, very strong side. As Mark's mentioned, I was gutted you through to him before me because I was going to steal his stat on that one. But yeah, Charlie Warren, his first goal was a magic free kick, just whipped the ball round the wall after it's been slightly moved, similar to the Salah Szoboszlai's ones you've seen in the Premier League lately, where they've changed the angle and it's beat the wall quite comfortably. The second goal's a scramble, and then Charlie Warren goes and adds the third again as well, all within 5 minutes. Those are, well, to be fair, Harris's second and the third Aldershot goal were only 9 minutes apart, so there was a little bit 4 goals in 9 minutes there, which was pretty chaotic. The ending was pretty chaotic as well. Scott made a foul right by the Halifax dugout. I forgot the word there. Sorry, dugout. And how David Cower, who's basically instigated the whole thing, has only got a yellow card, and Kwame Thomas got a red. I'm not quite sure on that one. I think it probably should have been one apiece, get one off each, or don't send anybody off here. But yeah, Kwame Thomas hasn't really hit the ground running, so to come on and then get sent off probably damages his chances of getting back in John Coleman's team as much as possible as well. But yeah, a very, very bad last half hour for Halifax. And one they might look back at the end of the season if they do finish in 8th and just go, that went wrong, quite badly wrong there, didn't it? That could be the difference because, yeah, they could have been 4 above Southend going into the midweek fixtures and full of confidence. So who knows? But yeah, I'm backing them to just miss out in the playoffs, but Aldershot will keep their head quite comfortably above water now, I think. And credit to John Coleman, because when you guys had him on, and fair play to him for fronting up when he did come on, they were in pretty dismal form at that stage as well.
They were, and he did say he was going to get them out of it, and I'm not entirely sure we all believed him at the time, but
when I listened, I wasn't convinced.
You know, but he's a man of his word. A man of his word, definitely.
That's why he's had all them years in football, and we just sit here talking on a podcast, though, isn't it?
Exactly. That's why he's getting paid big bucks, and we're just sat here chatting about the game. Louis, what did you make of this one, mate?
I think the interesting thing from a Halifax point of view was seeing Josh Amami back in the starting lineup. Obviously, he tried to force his way out of the club in January with a January move. I believe he's out of contract at the end of the season, but he seemed to come in it seamlessly in this one. He was crucial in their second goal. He played a lovely little dink over, I think it was 2 Aldershot players that took the guy behind him and those 2 Aldershot players out of the game, which allowed Halifax to go on and get their second. And obviously Will Harris as well. We haven't mentioned him, a brace for him, quality striker. He knows where the goal is. I think he's 15 or 16 for the season he is now. Outstanding season for him. I think it's crucial that they've kept hold of both of them. Obviously, Hamami was slightly different because it could have been out of their hands in some respects, but you look at previous seasons, I've mentioned it before, when they've sold Olorabore, Ali, their best players, Halifax, have been sold in January and they haven't done it this year. Whether that's a statement of intent for them to be able to go on and get that playoff place, we'll obviously wait and see. The timing of those goals for Aldershot were absolutely crucial. I think there was only a couple of minutes between Halifax's second and Aldershot's first, and you think if that had happened 5-10 minutes after Halifax taking the sting out of the game, they've got the crowd cleared off, they're left early because it's 2-0 down in the 70th minute or wherever it been. But that first goal for Aldershot was crucial, and the fans have got up. Lakeland said it in his post-match how much of an impact it has for Aldershot to be shooting towards that terrace. And yeah, full credit to them. It's a huge, huge win. I'm all for the massive brawl at the end. It's exactly what we want to see in football. I loved watching that on the highlights. It was great fun. Aldershot got 9 points from losing positions this season. That could be what keeps them ahead above water. But yeah, as Craig said, I can see him just comfortably staying above it from now until the end of the season. So they've got one of the best managers around and one of the most experienced managers around.
I think did I say Chris Warren? I meant Charlie Warren. It is Charlie Warren, isn't it?
I thought you said Charlie Warren.
Did I say Charlie Warren? I'm old.
Your rabbit
old,
joke,
everybody.
What we're going to do, we're going to change it up. I know we said we were going to cover all 9 games, but we've gone over 50 minutes already. We've still got predictions to do. We've still got manager of the month, player of the month. So Craig, I know you'll have your notes there, so I'm going to pass it to you to cover the last 3 games, if that's all right, mate. Fire away.
Yeah, no problem at all. I'll jump in on these ones. So we'll start with Altrincham 0, Yeovil 1. A tale of a saved penalty, I think, is the best place to start on this one. Jed Ward, who I believe I'd love to have a debate, but obviously we're flying through today's podcast. We've all had lots to talk about him being the best goalkeeper in the league, because I think he's up there definitely in the top 5. I'd have question marks whether he could even be top 3, maybe even one of the very, very best. A great penalty save from him. And we spoke about this game midweek being one that if a team wins, they don't have to quite look as nervously over their shoulder. If they lose it, they are very nervously looking over their shoulder. And that's the case for Altrincham now, because ex-Braintree loanee on loan from Fulham, Terror Works, grabbed his first goal for Yeovil late on in the game, about 86, 87 minutes in. And it was from a rebound, and it was a comfortable finish for him. And he looked so good at the start for Braintree, and now he's got his fresh move and hopefully some confidence as he's come off the bench to score the winner in that one. Next up was one we joked about for the Zone leaving it as the 5:30 kickoff, and it had 4 goals and had some talking points, some great efforts in there as well. And that was Eastleigh 2, Wealdstone 2. Eastleigh took the lead. Jake Tabor's shot was blocked and it spilled to Harvey Saunders, and he put them 1-0 ahead. And you think Eastleigh can they kick on here? Aaron Blair, unfortunately, was missing for a knock. And you're thinking, what can they do here to kind of go and cement and, again, not look as nervously over their shoulders? But Nathan Tashunka, I apologise for the pronunciation of that. I think I've got that terribly wrong, but we're going to go with that today anyway. Grabbed the brace, the second being a free kick that, again, was on the keeper's side. You'd maybe ask question marks on Nick Townsend, but he did hit it with quite a lot of power. I think it's one of them that's a great free kick, but again, you'd be looking back at your goalkeeper. He put them 2-1 up, and then Aaron Pierre equalised in the 5th minute of stoppage time, and you think that's pretty much that. But there's still time for Wealdstone to have the ball in the back of the net again, but it was ruled out for offside. Eastleigh, it's an okay point, but Wealdstone at home, no disrespect to Wealdstone because they're doing incredibly well, is probably one where you're looking for all 3 to get your head even further above water. But we'll see what happens with them midweek, Eastleigh, because I think if you just had 4 points over these 2 games, they'd probably have taken that from the plight they've been in. The next game is the one where we've obviously thought nothing too much to do with the bottom of the league, nothing too much to do with the top of the league or the playoffs. But yeah, it probably has had the biggest talking point of the weekend, and that was that Stefan Mole's penalty. Should it have been disallowed? For me, yes and no. By the letter of the law, no. I don't think he completely stops. But I'd like to see any stutters given as a free kick for the other team because I hate it. I absolutely hate a stutter in a penalty. Just run up and side foot it in the corner as hard as you can. Put your laces through it, do whatever. None of this fancy rubbish. I'm not a fan of it, and that makes I probably sound like the oldest one on this pod right now. Back in my
Totally
day,
agree
it was
with you, mate.
just
Totally
step up
agree.
and lever the penalty. And if the keeper pulls off a great save, fair play. None of this trying to trick them, all of this rubbish. I think the odds are already stacked firmly against the goalkeeper, so they don't need to be thinking about more of it. If you're a good striker of the ball, you should score majority of your penalties. Just go through it, strike it. That being said, you then didn't expect the chaos to unfold. That Hartlepool would go straight up the other end and score. The scoring apps were having a bit of a meltdown because they were classing it as 1-0 Tamworth, and then it was 1-1 with his Campbell goal, but it was actually 1-0, and it was a lovely work goal, and he's arrowed it back across Jazz Singh into the far corner, and it's a great finish, and I don't think anyone deserves that more than him for Hartlepool at the minute, because he has been under a fair share of criticism from the fans. He was cheered off sarcastically a couple of weeks ago, and he that was mentioned in a post-match interview with him, and he just said, "I've got to focus on what I'm doing on the football pitch. I'm disappointed we didn't win today." Stefan Moles couldn't stay out the headlines for too long on that one, as he jumped up with a fantastic kind of volley past the goalkeeper to make it 1-1. And then it was a game of to and fro and not too much goalmouth action, but an entertaining game for two teams that ultimately are going to finish in mid-table. Hartlepool aren't good enough for the playoffs, and Tamworth, barring a major collapse, will not be anywhere near the relegation zone now. So yeah, an entertaining game for the one that probably had the least on it this weekend, but maybe we'll see a few more of those throughout the season with entertaining values when teams take the handbrake off a little bit more.
Yeah, definitely. Well covered, Craig. Like I say, I know we're going to do all 9, but we're going to easily go over the hour mark here, so we'll wrap up them ones. Next up, we've got our monthly award nominees. Mark, our manager of the month nominees and our player of the month nominees, please.
Right, my feathered friends, we shall go with the managers first, and it is of Scunthorpe United, Andy Butler; York City, Stuart Maynard; Rochdale, Jimmy McNulty; and of Halifax, Adam Lakeland. Now, your players of the month. Oh boy, this is always a good one. We've got from Southend, Gus Scott Morris; from Rochdale, Kyron Gordon; from Scunthorpe, Zane Westbrook; and the Halifax goal machine, Will Harris. Make a vote, make your choices. You're voting for them, so don't come back on us if we get it wrong. You know, that's what a vote's all about. Come on, look it up. It's in the dictionary. If half of you can read. There you go. There's your choices.
All very worthy nominees, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
We're going to do some quick fire predictions to finish off now. We'll do Tuesday night's games first. Craig, quickly cover, obviously, the scores from the weekend.
Yeah, so Louis' long journey back from Boston had a little slimmer of hope for him because he did win the Predictions League and go back top of the league, as the guest Dave didn't have his finest week. I can't remember the exact points on me, but I believe it went Louis, Dan, Mark, myself, and then the guests. So Louis had a good week there. So yeah, we'll look at going and closing the gap on him, and maybe I can charge down the guest this week. And I'm very interested to see what Louis' prediction is going to be for our big game on Wednesday, because I'm still undecided on what I'm thinking on this one.
Yeah, there's a couple of these I might change. I've wrote them down, but there's a couple I might change on the fly here. So first up, we'll do Tuesday first. We've got Altrincham against Wealdstone. Mark.
Oh, gonna go. I think Declan Howe will play this one. 2-0 Altrincham.
I've got 2-1 Altrincham. Wealdstone travelling up there midweek after they've just travelled to Eastleigh as well. Craig?
Yeah, I think Wealdstone's being part-time / hybrid. Their away results on Tuesday night have been quite poor. So yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 Altrincham as well.
Louis?
Yeah, Alti for me, 1-0 Altrincham.
Next up, we've got Boston Gateshead. Craig?
I am going to go 2-0.
Mark?
To who?
Home side.
I'm assuming that's what he meant. Mark?
Unless Gateshead can pull off a miracle, but now the Boston Tea Party will continue. 3-0 Boston.
Wow. Louis?
I've gone the complete opposite way. I've gone 2-1 Gateshead on this one.
I've gone for 1-0 Boston in this one. Next up, we've got Carlisle Scunthorpe. I've got 2-2. Desmond's out for this one. Louis?
Scunthorpe record against the other sides around them is very good. 2-1 Scunthorpe.
Mark?
Same here, 2-1 Scunthorpe.
Craig?
1-1.
Next up, we've got Morecambe against Tamworth. Mark?
1-1.
Yeah, I've got 1-1 as well. Craig?
Yeah.
To have any hope, they need to win this one. And I think they will just do it because, again, a part-time side travelling on a Tuesday night. 2-1 Morecambe.
Louis?
Yeah, clip exactly what Craig just said. I've gone 2-1 Morecambe as well.
Next, we've got Solihull against Eastleigh. I'll go first in this one. I've gone 3-1 Solihull. Craig?
2-0 Solihull.
Mark?
2-0 Solihull.
Louis?
3-1 Solihull.
And then last up on Tuesday night, we've got Truro against Woking. Mark?
2-1 to me beloved Truro.
Louis?
Woking not having a game this weekend plays in their favour slightly, so I have gone 1-1.
Craig?
The second game in a row that I've agreed with Mark. 2-0. 2-1, sorry.
Yeah, I've got 2-1 as well, Truro.
Oh, well done, Woking.
And then Wednesday, we've got Aldershot against Southend. Mark?
Well, I can see Aldershot winning this 2-0.
Louis?
Desmond for me, 2-2.
Craig?
2-1 Aldershot.
Yeah, I've got 2-1 Aldershot as well. Next, we've got Boreham Wood against Yeovil. Boreham Wood need to get back to winning ways. I think they do that here. I've got 2-0 Boreham Wood. Louis?
I think they stopped the rot, but I've gone 1-1.
Craig?
3-1 Boreham Wood.
Mark?
2-1 Boreham Wood.
Next up, we've got Brackley Halifax. Louis?
2-1 Halifax.
Yeah, I've got 2-1 Halifax. Craig?
1-1.
Mark?
Desmondo, 2-2.
Next up, we've got Rochdale Forest Green. Mark?
1-0 Rochdale.
Craig?
2-0 Rochdale.
Louis?
1-0 Rochdale.
I've gone slightly more exciting. I've gone 3-1 Rochdale. Next up, we've got the tie of the night, which I'll definitely be watching. Sutton versus Braintree. Mark, me and you'll go first. Mark?
Oh God. I can't do this to both of you. I'm gonna go 1-1.
I've done exactly the same. I didn't want to upset anybody. I've gone 1-1 as well. Craig?
Same.
Oh God. Louis?
We're either going to thump you or it's going to be 0-0, and I've gone for 0-0.
I did think someone might have 0-0 in there because I did toy with that. And then last up, we've got York Hartlepool. I've got York 3-0 in this one. Mark?
I'm going York 4-0 in this one.
Craig?
Me and Mark seem to be in sync tonight. 4-0.
Oh, good Lord.
Louis?
And I'm the exact same year as Dan. I'm 3-0 York.
Well, this is becoming a bit of a pattern, me and Louis copying each other's answers.
Now, wait a minute. Me and Craig have been doing that too.
That's true. Although, because Mark's bottom of the league, I'm pretty sure Craig's not particularly happy that he's predicting the same as Mark.
Yeah.
I'm
What
happy
you've got yourself into there, Mr. Paul.
I'm happy I'm predicting the same as Louis because he's top.
Law of averages, Sam. Law of averages, mate.
True. But yeah, that's it from us. I think we're on 943 subscribers last time I looked. We're trying to get to 1,000 as quickly as possible. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do that if you can. It helps us massively. Thanks to Craig, Louis and Mark for joining me. We've covered everything there. I know we rushed through the end a little bit, but we would have been here all night, to be fair. We had that much to talk about. We'll be back. I think we're recording Thursday, so the next episode will be out on the Friday.
Yeah, just on that, Louis has planned not to be here Thursday, so if we beat him, he's not hiding.
And if we win, I'm off to Ibiza.
Mark's gave him the name of a good hotel out there while Mark was out there.
I got it from Robert Smethurst.
But yeah, that's it from us. Thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you again next time.